This discussion today with Conor Hix is so inspiring. Conor got his real estate license shortly after graduating from high school, and now he's his own real estate business owner and he's thriving. Hear about how his high school baseball career helped prepare him for real estate success, how he leveraged open houses, and how he went on to win Rookie of the Year at his brokerage.
Welcome to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission, where we dive into real stories, big wins, and early lessons learned from highly successful rookie real estate agents and brokers. This is the series where we explore how real estate transforms lives, one home at a time, by sitting down each week with a new agent or broker who has found incredible success in their first year. Your hosts are instructors and leaders at Colibri Real Estate School, one of the largest real estate educators in the nation, where we focus on helping people like you get started or find continued success in their careers.
Hello, and welcome to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission. My name's Tina Lapp. I am the host and head of industry relations and career excellence for Colibri Real Estate. I've been in real estate education for over 30 years, helping individuals enter and thrive in their real estate careers. We are here today with Conor Hix. Conor, will you take a moment to introduce yourself, where you live, and what company you're with?
Yeah. So I'm Conor Hix. I'm a real estate agent with Cutler Real Estate here in Columbus, Ohio.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining us today. I'm excited to share your story and looking forward to the conversation. Let's start at the beginning. What were you doing before you got into real estate?
Yeah, so I was just actually, the normal teenager living the high school life. I got right into real estate at 18, so I was still in high school playing baseball. Graduated that summer, and that's when I got right into real estate.
I love it. This is so exciting. I love this story. So you were in high school. You graduated, or did you start classes before you graduated?
Yeah, so actually I graduated in, I believe it was early June.
Mm-hmm.
I took the summer to myself trying to figure out, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was fully committed in my mind to play baseball in college. And then, broke it down with my family, and ultimately, real estate was the best path for me at that time. Obviously still is, but I started my classes in August. So I took the summer to myself, and
yeah. You deserve it after 18 years of going to school, right?
Yeah, right.
I bet you needed that summer to sort of decompress and think about life. That's awesome. So how'd you land on real estate? What attracts you to real estate?
Yeah, so my mother, Stacy Taylor, she's an agent with us as well. She's been an agent for, I believe, 15, maybe 16 years, plus or minus. I don't know the exact date, but so she's obviously, had a big influential pull on me, whatever that is in life. But definitely when I was narrowing down my options, I was like, let's give real estate a shot. Let's see what happens. And that's where I landed. And now we're here.
Yes, I love it. And so walk us through the process of getting licensed. You lived it up for the summer and you said, okay, time to do it. Did you take your classes in the classroom, online? How'd you do it?
Yeah, so actually it was kind of nice. So I was able to take it in person and then online as well. It was 3 full weeks. But actually for me, I landed during Labor Day weekend. So they shut down classes for like a full week, which I was super eager. I wanted to get it done. So that last final week, I forget what if it was appraisal or which one it was, but I actually did that last course all online so I could try and get it done quicker and get to the test as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you were able to sort of mix and match, taking it in the classroom, doing some online, got it done on your schedule. What else were you doing at the time? Were you able to focus just on the courses?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice.
I still lived at home, so I was super focused on getting my classes done, trying to get my career started as fast as possible, and really soaking in all the information, because buying a house is somebody's normally biggest financial asset they'll ever purchase. So I was really trying to hone in the classroom and figure out how am I going to help people in the best way possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how'd you choose the school to go to?
In Columbus, a lot of people get, kind of thrown to Hondros. And I think they're a great school. They helped me out a ton. And so it was kind
awesome.
of, once we met with Cutler, they were like, Hondros is normally the way to go. So
that's awesome. I love it. And so you balanced your courses, you got through. How long did it take you to complete the courses altogether between classroom and online?
I honestly, it was 3 weeks, super
Yeah.
simple.
Okay.
And
Not
now I think
bad.
it's down to 2 weeks. So it's even quicker.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
is. And that's amazing. Like
it is.
here you are, like your own business owner after three
Yeah,
weeks
it
and
is.
and you're young and now you've got this great career. What was
Yeah.
the hardest part of getting through the classes, do you think?
You know, I don't think it was necessarily the classes. I think it was more I'm not a great test taker. So trying to,
Yeah.
figure out all this information, put it to, pen to paper and get through the test was, I think, the most difficult part. But once we did that, we're off to the races and, we're still kicking. So,
Awesome. So
yeah,
here you are, you're licensed. What
yeah.
did you expect your first year?
I wasn't trying to set nothing crazy, right? I wanted to focus on building my brand. That was the biggest thing I wanted to do. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to get too number oriented or worry about transactions or, you
Yeah.
know, all the number based. I was more worried about, how can I build a brand? How can I network with as many people as possible and, create the most organic relationships.
Yeah. And so is that what you did? Like what'd you do to kick it off that way?
Yeah, so honestly, open houses, that I can't stress those enough. And I
Okay.
run the mentoring program in our company brokerage now. So, and that's what
Cool.
I stress the most to our guys, right? Is open houses. They're the best way to meet people, active buyers in the market, and even just get reps. It's all about reps, just like sports. The more you do it, the more comfortable, the more familiar you are with it, and they can attest to that as well.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that. Like it's just like sports. Do you think that your experience playing, was it baseball, you said,
Yeah.
throughout
Yep.
high school, do you think that helped you prepare for your career in real estate?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Our high school coach, he really taught us all about the work ethic and, facing adversity the best way possible, right? And I think, getting into real estate, starting a business, it's far from the easiest thing, right? So really
Yeah.
facing adversity and, keep pushing when it gets tough. That was, I think, the best, the learning moments and the biggest curve from real estate or baseball to real estate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sound advice, no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
So so how long after you got your license did you close your first transaction?
I believe it was 3.5, maybe 4 months. I got
Not
licensed
bad.
at the end of October and closed it, I believe, the middle of January.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing, my friend.
yeah.
That's like very, very
Well,
impressive.
thank you. Yeah, yeah, and it's honestly, it's funny too because it came right at the open house.
Yeah.
Some would say it was beginner's luck, but it was consistently grinding out the open houses, showing up, putting yourself first, giving yourself an opportunity, giving yourself a chance, and that's what happened. You give yourself a chance, anything in life, and you're going to succeed at one point or another.
Yeah, that's great. So you talked about the open houses. Was
Hmm.
that from day one? Like how'd you secure these open houses? Tell us more about that for individuals who are out there
Yeah.
licensed, looking to get started. Like how'd you do it? What was your approach?
Yeah, so I secured a lot of open houses from honestly our company. Our company is really good, Cutler Real Estate, at
Yeah.
connecting everybody, connecting our agents. We always pride ourselves on our culture, and I can't stress that enough because all of our seasoned agents take in our new agents with open arms. They're always if you need help, they're always there to help you, and they're always
Yeah.
wanting someone to do an open house, right? And so all those opportunities are always open. So if you give yourself a chance to do the open houses, you're gonna succeed. So I would say from our company, Cutler, it's been tremendous support.
Yeah, that's great, and
Yeah.
absolutely, they're wonderful. And so here you are, you're going to these open
Mhm.
houses, and how did you connect with the individuals coming in? How did you turn them from somebody just visiting an open house into a client?
Yeah, and I think it all goes back to keeping it organic, all right? Like keeping it real. Nobody wants a
Yeah,
salesperson. Everybody wants a real conversation that truly cares about them. So if I always treat it like a showing, right? People, hand a business card and say, I'm Conor Hix. Nobody wants to work with that, right? You have to
yeah,
show them around, create that relationship. And I hope by the end of that, 15, 20, 25-minute tour, I hope you're ready to work with me because I created that relationship with you.
yeah. Did you ever find, and here you are, you're a young person. Do you ever
Mhm.
find it difficult to establish credibility, or was it not really an issue for you?
Yeah, right when I first started, I'd be lying if I said no, right? Like, but we always say dress the part, look the part, and
Yeah,
if you know what you're talking about,
that's right.
that doesn't matter, right? If you can give people knowledge, information, and know what you're saying, people are going to start to believe you and say, I'm going to work with this guy. Especially, if I go back to the basics, keep it organic, keep building the relationships, networking with people, and you know, I don't have any problems with it now. So
yeah, that's great. And I love that
yeah,
you said that, because there are a lot of folks who are, in that 18 to 20-year-old range that are saying,
yeah,
gosh, can I build a career in real
yeah.
estate? And what's your advice to them?
I absolutely, you can't
Yeah.
let anybody tell you no. I think the biggest reason people fail, right, is they're scared to be embarrassed or something like that, right? And there's nothing to
Yeah.
be embarrassed about in real estate. You're building a career. If you look the part, you know what you're talking about. You're knowledgeable. You're gonna have no problems. As long as you show up, you're consistent. It's all about consistency, accountability, and discipline, right? You gotta be consistent when you're not motivated. So
Yeah, yeah, I love that, Connor.
yeah.
So outside of open houses, like, how do you market yourself? Did you use any particular marketing channels that were successful, or any that you used that really weren't successful?
Honestly, I would say the biggest piece for me was networking with agents. And I
Yeah,
think a lot of people overlook that because they think, they have a real estate license, they'll just help them buy or sell. And that's not always the case, right?
yeah,
We span all the way from Northeast Ohio all the way down to Cincinnati, with obviously Columbus in the middle. So if you're networking with all the agents in there, you're building strong relationships, you're doing open houses for them. I found myself, agents start to trust you, and you're like, if I'm not in Columbus, well, I got a guy in Columbus and I can help you relocate him there. And so I think that's what I really started to hone in on was, let me network with our own agents and start to build trust and rapport with them so I can, have their trust as well, as long as they're clients.
yeah. That's smart, smart.
Yeah.
So did you get involved in networking events? Were you going to like Realtor Association events, events at your brokerage? Like, tell us more about it.
Yeah, so we have great we call them regional rallies. It's where we get everybody together within the region, and we network there. We have great information from our president, VPs, all the agents, all the leadership team. But then it was also going to a lot of whether it's affiliate networking events, investor networking. It was whoever you can get your name out to the most, go there and be seen and put your
Yeah.
name out there. Right. That was my thought process, and that's the way I went and ran with it there.
Yeah, you are no secret agent, my friend. You are
Yeah.
out there. It's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So, did you target a specific audience? Like, do you work with buyers or sellers or first-time home buyers,
You
or
know,
like anything in particular?
Yeah, I never really did, right? Because I'm early in my career. I don't want to push away people. I'm in no
Yeah,
position to do that. I want to work with everybody that wants to work with me. I want to create the relationships and keep developing
yeah,
that business. So, maybe 10, 15 years down the line, I can, say I only want sellers, or I only want buyers, or I only want, so much. But
yeah.
as of
Right
right now, no,
now.
I'm hungry to work with everybody and continue to help everybody purchase their biggest financial asset.
Yes, I love it. Bring it on, right? Bring it
Yes,
on.
yes.
So, did you do any training after you did the mandatory education that you
Yeah.
need for your license in the state? Did you do any additional training through your brokerage or outside of your brokerage as you got
Yeah.
started?
Oh, absolutely. So I think, we do a great job of our educational and training piece. So that
Yeah,
was definitely a big credit to, Cutler on providing that. But also we're a Ninja installation company, Ninja selling company. And I can't stress them enough. I think that's where I learned so much within. So I actually took it a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks after I got licensed. So it was like drinking from, a fire hose.
yeah,
And then I took it a year later, and it was great to just learn the same thing and then, keep implementing those same tools and same thought processes into my own business,
yeah.
and same processes, right? Like you got to have a process to be, a strong agent in, Columbus, especially nowadays. So be able to go back and, look at all that information was, a key piece for me.
Yeah, especially doing it once. And was it
Yeah.
eye-opening when you went through it and then you got a year under your belt
Yeah.
and then you went through it again? Did you have a whole different perspective?
Oh, absolutely. Because you're able to focus on so many different aspects that you didn't even realize, the first time. And we have, very seasoned agents that take it multiple, like, I think we have somebody that's taken it 4 or 5, maybe even 6 times. And it's
Okay,
just,
cool.
it's a testimony to how much you can learn every single time you go back. And I can't stress it enough, how great of a company and how great of a ninja selling is.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
important to find the
it is.
right place for you and the
Yeah.
right brokerage that you feel
Yeah,
supported. Tell us,
absolutely.
tell us about some of the challenges you faced during your first year. Like, what's been the toughest for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, starting off, right? Like we touched on it earlier, is,
Yeah,
finding the credibility. You got to find that within yourself. Once you do, and you look the part, you know what you're talking about, you overcome that fear. But then I also think it's, you know, when you get into the business at 18, 19, 20, right? Your SOI really isn't buying houses or selling houses. They're going to school to get, study, get their degree, start their
yeah,
careers, right? So now you got to find out how am I going to, tap into that database of my friends' family, or how am I going to, where's my business going to come from?
Yeah.
Because my friends aren't buying, right? So I think that's where the open house piece came into, and I think that's when I had to buy into the process of open houses are going to be a big part of my business in my first year.
Yeah, that's a really important comment there, because you tap into your sphere of influence,
Yeah.
but you kind of have to go a little bit deeper into that sphere.
Yeah.
For sure. That's a good point.
Everybody always says, get into your SOI, tap into that, but it's like, my SOI is in school, right? Like they're not buying.
Well, they will be soon. They will be soon, right?
Yeah, exactly. So 100%.
That's great. So,
Yes.
So here you are, you're recently licensed, you get to your first closing, you're dealing with contracts and you're dealing with financing and all this stuff. Where'd you turn to get support?
I my obviously first digging down would be, Stacey Taylor, my mom. She's been great. I used to be able to just run downstairs and, ask her any question I had. I think we make a joke every day. It's like, how many times I'm going to call her. But I would also have to go back to, our leadership team between, all of our regional VPs, our president. Everybody's been so good about supporting everybody. And it's really cool to see how awesome and how connected everybody is and how welcoming and arm opening everybody is within Cutler. So I would definitely have to fall back onto, our brokerage for sure.
Yeah. So it's not just mom, but the brokerage is a lot of support as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can't put it all on her. She has her own business to run too.
Right. Yeah. But it sounds like she's absolutely been an inspiration to you, which I love.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me about an experience with a client that stands out to you, maybe your first one or one that was particularly touching or challenging. Can you share one of those stories?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny because I was just talking about our SOI and how, my friends are in school and they're not buying houses, but we actually had one instance where, one of my original childhood best friends from, I think we met maybe in first grade. We played baseball all the way up through, went to high school together. We went our separate ways after high school. I got into real estate. He got, I'm not exactly sure what he got into. I believe it was construction or something like that. But, I was laying in bed one night and he texted me. He was like, hey, I'm in the market to buy right now. Can you help me? And I was like, oh, absolutely. So then we got to work together, for the next 3-4 months, finding a house and buying his first property. So it was cool to, kind of grow up together and then kind of help him, achieve the dream of home ownership at, the age of 19. So.
That's cool amazing. Yes, let's encourage more people to do that.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about how you maintain relationships with your clients. Like, it's not a one and done, right? How do you maintain those? What are some
we always say
you
you never have past clients, right? You always want to have current clients, and it's not after you close the deal, or close the transaction, whatever it is. It's not they're my past clients. They're still your current clients, and we want to stay in flow with them. And so it's keeping it organic, right? Nobody wants automated, and AI and automation is great nowadays, right? But you got to keep it organic and keep it real. Everybody wants to feel loved. So I think making sure your clients feel loved and appreciated is the best way to go about that.
Yeah, for sure. And so when you look to like what the next year looks like, is there anything you would do differently as far as marketing, as far as like reaching new clients, anything in the plan for 2026?
I would honestly, I'd say for me, getting back to the basics, right? Sometimes you get so caught up in getting busy and like for me, I got away from the open houses, and that's one thing, just, being busy, right? I run the mentorship program now. So, obviously I'm looking out for, our guys as well. And then also I have my own business running too. So I want to get back to the basics and get back into the open houses every weekend and, continue to do that. So I think that's definitely on the 2026 horizon for me.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the mentorship program? Yeah. Obviously not giving away everything, but tell us what that's like and how you run that.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's awesome and one of the best things I've ever done. So we have a group, I don't know, we probably range from 19 to 25. We have a group of guys, not limited to that. It's just kind of how it's fallen so far. And it's a 12-week program. And we go through, all the, diversifying your business, listing process, selling process, professional and legal, ethical stuff, all the good stuff. And so it's a 12-week program. And then after that, we sit down and we kind of go through how are we going to game plan for the rest of the year, or in this case, the next year. But it's more than that. It's about having a group of young guys that can come together and talk to each other and feel safe in a comfortable space. Because we touched on this earlier, you're into the business and you're not connected to anybody. You don't really know anybody. You just got out of high school or just out of college. You don't know inspectors. You don't know lenders. You don't know title companies. You don't know attorneys. You don't know anybody, right? So it's coming together, networking with each other, collabing and bouncing ideas off each other. And we have a great group. And, I love every bit of it. And we get together every week and, connect, and it's awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So, Conor, I got to ask, how do you find time to do it all? Tell us about a normal week and how you plan it out, because you're juggling so much.
Yeah, so I always say, right, sleep when you're dead, because you get a lot of sleep then, right? So, but no, keeping it serious. It's awesome because we meet. I meet with all the guys individually, one-on-one, and then on Thursdays we have our weekly huddle, and then we also try to get together outside of that. But then also during the week is also I'm running my own business, right? So it's most days start at 7:30 and they go till about 8 p.m. at night, and even on the weekends it doesn't stop, right? It's real estate never stops. So and weekends, that's when people are most free and available. So now your weekends are really have to be free.
Yeah. Do you set aside any time for yourself to go to dinner with family or friends, or catch a movie, anything like that? Any fun?
Yeah, I would be lying if I said I didn't. If everybody knows me, I like to I like to incorporate family time, and I'm grateful for everybody in my corner. So I always try to make sure there's time for everybody and delegate time appropriately, because you got to live too,
You absolutely do. You absolutely do. Do you utilize social media at all?
Yeah, and I think that's a huge piece. It's 2025. That's how people hear about things. That's how people are connected, right? And nobody believes in getting together anymore. So it's all about social media. So that's one thing we've been talking about as a group too, is how can we implement social media in 2026 more than we are now? And I think we're doing a great job of it, but how can we continue to grow and adapt? Because as we know, real estate's always changing and you got to adapt to it. So that's what we're trying to do as well, is incorporate more social media into our business as well.
Yeah. And how are you using it today? I think that sounds smart. That's great. Yeah. What are you doing with it today? How do you use it? Is it, how do you use it?
Yeah, I try to keep it simple and basic, right? Nobody wants to see a robot. Everybody wants to see Conor Hix. What is Conor Hix doing? So I always try to keep it personal real estate. And I was just explaining earlier, is sometimes it's going to go real estate, and then you got to mix in a personal. But as long as you're posting something's better than nothing. And that's what we always stress. And, whether it's open houses, listings, closings, in contracts, inspections, you're meeting up with a client. But what did you do this weekend? Who is Conor Hix outside of real estate? That's what people want to see. And that's how you create organic relationships, is doing that.
Yeah, I love it. And seeing you, how busy you are and everything you're into. And that's amazing. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
So that's a really good question. I would say, I don't really know. I would say still in real estate, obviously, but where does that go? Is that staying in residential? Is that, I would say, in some form of training, education, leading, guiding, some sort of leadership type of role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I love it. I have no doubt that you're going to get there. So for individuals looking to start a career in real estate, is there any advice or tips or tricks that you'd like to share with them?
I would say you gotta enjoy the process. Love the process, because the process is going to get you the results, right? And also, keep going when it gets tough. It's never easy starting a business, especially at 18, 19, 20, never easy, but you got to keep going, enjoy the process, because once you enjoy the process, the results just mean that much more.
Yeah. If you could do it again, what might you do differently? Would you have started real estate at 18 years old? Are you happy you did it?
Yeah, I wouldn't change my direction of career at all. I would say I would probably, let's see, that's a tough question. I don't know, because you never do anything right. So there's always stuff that you can change and implement. But I would say, honestly, for myself as well, enjoy the process. Because I feel like at certain times it got tough, and I was sitting there wondering, man, when is it finally going to happen for me? I'm doing all this stuff. I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing what everybody's telling me to do. But why is it not happening for me? You have to enjoy the process for it to happen to you.
Yeah. And you got there, and you got there.
Yeah.
And now
you just got to stick through the process and keep going. And, as long as you put your head down and keep moving forward, it'll happen for you.
Yeah, that's good advice. So, Conor, we're going to have a little bit of fun with our lightning round. Just some questions. Give us your, first thing that comes to your head, casual, 60 seconds or less. The first one I'm going to ask, is there a book that you've read or a podcast that you've listened to that you'd recommend to the audience and why? And it doesn't have to be real estate.
Yeah, I would say, honestly, Ninja Selling, the book to Ninja Selling, I would I'm not a reader. Everybody that knows me, I'm not a reader at all. I've probably read, a handful of books in my time. But if there was one book I had to recommend and choose again to read, it would be Ninja Selling 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And I've heard that before from several folks. So if we had a time machine and you could go back to the day you started this journey, what advice would you give yourself?
I would say, what advice would I say? Can I say the same thing again?
Yeah.
I would just say enjoy the process.
Keep
enjoying it, right? It's a long game. You got to enjoy it to really feel the results at the end. And, you got to believe in yourself at the end of the day. And you got to give yourself the credibility, because once you give yourself the confidence and credibility, that's when things start to really going right for you.
Yeah. And it sounds like you have that mentality of don't give up. Like it may not be working yet. Keep going and it'll work.
Life always gets hard. At some points it gets better.
Yeah, absolutely. If you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Oh man, that's a good question. Who would I have dinner with? I would say, this might be a biased answer because I'm in real estate, but I love his shows. I love the way he thinks. He has such good ideas. I would say Ryan Serhant, because he's so invested in the real estate. He's grown this empire, and I would love to just sit at dinner and pick his brain about what he did and how he did it.
Right? That would be such a fun conversation. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what would you order to eat?
Filet mignon.
So filet mignon, right? Awesome.
Can I add an honorable mention on there?
Yeah.
I would also do Larry Kendall. Larry Kendall, a founder of Ninja. I would love to sit down and pick his brain about that as well. I think he would be a great dinner host and great person. Just pick his brain. Yeah.
That would be a great conversation. Oh my gosh, you could talk. It'd be a long dinner, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell us, what'd you do at work yesterday?
What did I do at work? So I got up at 8, checked, you got to get the cup of coffee, sat down, had a couple emails that I had to respond to. And then the meeting started at 10 a.m. with some of our mentees that, I look after. So we met at 11, had a little break until I would say our next one was at 2 o'clock. And then after that, went home and did a couple more client follow-ups. And then we actually, me and Stacy, we've been talking about doing real estate reviews more in our business. So I was kind of looking into that. I didn't send any out, but I was kind of doing a little bit of research about that. So I wouldn't say too busy of a Monday, but it was a good real estate Monday.
It's a good real estate Monday. A good day in the life. Day in the life of Conor.
Yeah.
So Conor, where can listeners and viewers find you, connect with you, and follow your journey?
Yeah, it's all on Conor Hix. Sometimes there's a 21 at the end, but like my LinkedIn, Conor Hix. All my Instagram socials are Conor.Hix21 or Conor Hix. So it's all pretty plain, pretty simple. We also have the Taylor team page that me and Stacy are on together. So that's where everybody can find me at.
Yeah, I love it. So any final words of advice for aspiring real estate agents?
I would say if you have any hesitation, any second thoughts, don't do it. It's the best thing you can do. Every transaction's different. Every day's different. It's so unique. Whether it's, you're dealing with family, death, divorce, wedding, child, relocation, every transaction is so different, and it makes every situation unique. So if I had to do it, dive in head first and keep going and trust the process and enjoy it. Yeah.
And what you said there, like you're dealing with so many life happenings, right? And so many things happening with people.
And you just never know who you're going to meet on any random day. You can run into anybody. And every market is so growing. And like Columbus right now, it's amazing to be in and see everything changing, adapting, and real estate coming to Columbus in general.
Yeah. I love it. There is good news out there in real estate, and I love seeing you thrive. It's great. It's great. Well, I appreciate the conversation. This has been wonderful. I wish you so much continued success. I love seeing you thriving in real estate, and stay in touch with us. I appreciate your time.
Yes, I appreciate you guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to Unlocking Real Estate, My First Commission. We hope today's stories and insights inspired you to take that next step in your real estate journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode, or head over to our channel to see some of the other content we've produced. We'd also love to hear from you. Drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway or a question for our next guest. If you have a recommendation for someone we should interview, please send a note to unlockingrealestate@colibrirealestate.com.